Hey y'all, welcome back to Weekly Hyperfixations. If you're new here, I'm Riot. Every week, I just go through what I've been hyperfixating on, and sometimes that's relevant to like current events, generally fandom related. Let's just get into it. Your home slice doesn't have a notebook at the moment, so it's just on a piece of paper. Which is fine, I guess, but it's just really funny to me. We honestly don't have too much on the docket, and my brain is like, this is what we can talk about first. It was also really hard to even think about what things I'd been hyperfixating on this week, because I've had the same Limp Bizkit song stuck in my head for 3 days. It's Air Raid Vehicle. Keep rolling. Air Raid Vehicle. So my brain is just hands up and hands down, back it up, back it up. Keep rolling, rolling, rolling. And that's all my brain's been doing for 3 days. Oh. So that's where we're at. Jesus. Okay. Let's see here. Honestly, not a huge amount of stuff on the docket. I'm just hoping that I'll start fucking going off about something. And I think I know what I will be going off about, but you know. It got announced that in the next Sonic movie, Amy will be voiced by Kristen Bell. And when my partner told me that, I was like, well, yeah, who else were they gonna get? Okay, so that's my assessment of that. Who else is gonna voice Amy? Who else? Yeah. I also do think that Amy Rose always kind of sounds like a princess a little bit. So, yes. I'm just generally excited for the movie, mainly because I like Metal Sonic. But I think it's very funny. We've gotten supposedly some like little snippets of like what the next Sonic movie is about. And it talks about, and again, I have no idea if this is like a confirmed thing or if this is a supposed leak or what. But it like said, this was a while ago, but it said something about like, oh, Amy Rose time travels. Hey, there's a character who literally does that. Hey, there's a character that canonically does that, actually. Silver the Hedgehog, ever heard of him? I'm sure you could get actual Bryce Papenbrook. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to. Yeah. I'm sure you can do it and be fine. Sorry. I'm having a moment. Oh my god. You know what? I'll be so real with y'all. I didn't even write this down. I've been watching Penny Snapcube play Ocarina of Time, and in her final VOD, when you get to the end screen in Ocarina of Time, it will replay you the song you used for the Scarecrow. Now, she completely forgot that she made a song for the Scarecrow, completely forgot what it was. She kind of just, if I remember correctly, in the moment, she kind of just button mashed and gave up or like backed out of it or whatever. But oh my god. In Ocarina format, sounds fine. Sounds like 2 notes. Okay. Hey, it's 4 notes. And unintentionally, the notes that Penny put in when are clearer when put through a different sound font, which while you're sitting on the end screen, it'll do that, and it goes to Malin's sound font next, and it goes do 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 do. So Penny Snapcube accidentally recreated Megalovania, and she accidentally created Megalovania to prank her future self with, which is really good. And that's heavily on the mind because I was literally shown that not 20 minutes ago. So let me concentrate for like 2 seconds. Let me do this so I remember what I talk about. Okay. I talked about Fred Durst already. Okay. This is just a little personal thing. So the Rick Riordan second series books, the Heroes of Olympus books, all 5 of them, are getting new covers. They're fucking beautiful. And there's a different hardcover version. But there are hardcovers that you can get that have the painted spines, and when you put them all together, it's the Roman camp. It's Camp Jupiter. And I went, woo! You know what I mean? Absolutely going ham. That's more of a personal thing because I don't think I have all of those, because literally, y'all want to know this? In, I want to say 8th grade, maybe freshman year of high school, I let my friend borrow it, and they had just gotten a puppy, and that puppy ate it. It ate the entire copy of The Son of Neptune that I had, and I don't think I've gotten a new one. Also, the copy of the Lost Hero I had, I think, was paperback, and I didn't like that because I like to have the hardcovers. So I say as if I have any hardcovers for the first 5 books. I have all the original covers, first 5 paperback, but anyway. I was really excited. These are specific to a website called Illumicrate, which I've never heard of before, but I mean, yeah. You know what I mean? Man, I gotta focus. I gotta focus. You know what? Yes. Well, yes. Anyway. I've been super into Tomodachi Life because I never played it. I figured out how to get it working emulating on the computer. Big ups for me. Took me a while to get the Me Maker part to work. Shout out to random person on Reddit who had a debug file so that when you put it in and run that debug file, it just auto fixes it for you. Also, I actually made a me of myself that isn't horrible. Hell yeah. And then I made one of my bestie on my Nintendo Switch. I did it there because I was making the version of her that has blue hair. Which is no longer current, but you know. So I've also been watching a lot of people play Tomodachi Life, or like breaking it, or you know, running it through that, like run it through a million translations and back and then play it kind of thing. Those are funny. Let's see. Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna what is the word? What the hell? I'm so out of it right now. I'm going to preface, that's the word I was looking for. I'm going to preface this next thing I'm going to talk about briefly by saying, in terms of a fandom, I don't go here. Okay? Okay. There is currently a boycott over Smosh, of all things. Because for some goddamn reason, they announced that they were going to have this guy named Noah on an upcoming episode. Now, I don't know a lot about this man, but I don't need to. Because what do you mean this white man had cornrows? And he was like, oh, but my singular friend who's black said I could. First of all, that doesn't mean it's okay. That doesn't. That means one person is not bothered by it. You know what I mean? Also said some slurs towards lesbians live on an episode, which they then took down, cut it out, and re-uploaded it like nothing had happened. Also, a Jewish man who is also a Zionist on top of that. And there's where the issue comes in, because Smosh has said that they are pro-Palestine. You can't be pro-Palestine and then platform someone who is the exact opposite of that. You know what I mean? Like, like, and I'm gonna get real just teacher to kindergarten class with y'all, okay? If you like the color green, okay, and you say, oh, we all like the color green because it's the best color and fucking we agree only with green, okay? And then they let someone in who's like, well, I really like blue. And I don't like people who like green because I only like blue. What are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And I know I said that and that wasn't a good metaphor, but like genuinely that's how stupid it sounds to me. Like, what do you mean? Okay. You're like, we have this group of people and we agree with this group of people because something terrible is happening to them. But this person who is actively supporting the people who are causing those bad things to happen, we're going to pay him and get him on our show and make money using someone who will then use the money they make from filming with us to further those ends. Because, okay, and I'm not entirely sure how Smosh works. I've been given a brief rundown because some of my housemates do occasionally watch some Smosh videos. But a lot of people on Smosh, the cast, if you will, first of all, they're a part of the cast and they're on contract. Okay? This guy is not. He is freelance. So anytime they bring him in, it's because someone wanted to bring him in. Hey, fire that person who keeps bringing him in. Do not bring him in anymore. You cannot say, oh, I'm with this team because this other team is hurting this team in a way that is irreparable. But we're going to let someone from the other team come over. And we're going to have to all be nice to them. What the hell? You know what I mean? Ugh, pisses me off. Because, like, hey, are you not aware that that's a PR, HR disaster on your hands? And any clips I have seen of this person, everyone else looks uncomfortable. Why do you keep bringing this person in? Is he a Nepo baby? Is this nepotism? Be honest. Because that's really what it's feeling like. It feels like you're platforming a Nepo baby who, and here's the thing, to my knowledge, not even popular enough to warrant bringing him back all the time. Get that man the fuck out of here. So there's a Smosh boycott, and anytime I see a Smosh controversy nowadays, I go, thank God I only was watching Smosh in, like, when it was just Ian and Anthony, and once Smosh broke off at whatever year that was, once that they started doing their own things, that's when I stopped watching Smosh, and I have not returned to it. And thank God I have not returned to it. There are a couple clips that I've been shown that have been re-uploaded that I think are funny, but that's like it. And it's also like 2 whole clips. So, you know, like I don't even, it's not my kind of humor anymore because first of all, I'm an adult. Second of all, my humor now lies with British detective shows, so it's kind of over in general. It lies with that and YouTube poops, okay? Yeah. But I wanted to touch upon that because, like, even though I do not go to this fandom, it is ridiculous to me that anyone in that company thought this was an okay move. Like, sure, it's gonna get you PR, and I know some people do say any PR is good PR. That's not true. In this day and age, that's definitely not true. If you're a celebrity in terms of like movies and films, that can be true. But it's pretty much only in that sphere that it can be true. Because everything else there's so much, like, there's so much more going on the fan side of things. Yeah. Jesus, y'all. It's a wreck. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about other stuff that's cool. This one. Sorry, I'm marking because it's on a little sheet of paper and I wrote in pencil. It's like hard for me to remember what I talked about because I'm not marking it off in any way. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm so all over the place today. My ADHD is rampant. My ibuprofen for my headache has not kicked in. We're getting there. My God. In Absolute Batman issue 17, they show, and I'm gonna say spoilers, skip ahead like 2 minutes, probably. Skip ahead 5 minutes just in case. And then use the left arrow key as you see fit to figure out when these are over. But spoilers slightly, well, yeah, no, big spoiler for Absolute Batman number 17. Okay, here we go. In Absolute Batman issue 17, they show Absolute Poison Ivy. I've never wanted anything more. As a Poison Ivy enjoyer, hey, that's the best thing I've ever seen. I love when they make her some freaky little creature. I love when they make her just such an amalgam of nature that, like, it's concerning. You know what I mean? Ugh. I love when they make a beautiful woman into a freaky little beast. I need to stop. But I love when they take Poison Ivy and they're like, okay. And seeing Absolute Poison Ivy is really reminding me of the short run comic Poison Ivy, The Cycle of Life and Death, in which she turns into the cordyceps fungus that a la Walking Dead, basically. She turns into that fungus and eliminates all life on Earth. And it is so good. Highly recommend. It's beautiful. But I love when they take her and they go, okay, Poison Ivy, Pamela Lillian Isley, is a bioterrorist. She doesn't just deal in biohazards, she is a biohazard, and she's going to become a very big biohazard. And I just love when they do that. Oh, she looks so good. My favorite DC character, Poison Ivy. Yeah. So big fan of that. And I will actually, I do realize that she is on the pyramid. I will choose the least spoilery image I have, which kind of makes her look a little like Two-Face. But I will choose the least grotesque one for the pyramid, just in case. Spoilers over. Let's move on. There will be slight spoilers for her appearance, for Poison Ivy's appearance in that when we get to the pyramid, but I'm purposefully going to choose an image that is the least reflective of what I talked about, just in case. Oh my god. Y'all. So Minecraft finished putting out all of their, sorry, there was an ambulance that went by outside and I was like, okay. Minecraft finished putting out their list, they finished putting out all of the updated textures for baby mobs in Minecraft. And this is all baby mobs. Actually, I don't know if they changed the baby villager, but aside from that, they changed a bunch of baby mobs. I've talked about it before. I've talked about the baby chicken. I've talked about the baby bees, that kind of thing. They capped out showcasing their new baby mob textures with nether mobs, basically. And y'all, the baby Strider? The baby Strider? Give me 50 of them right now. Those little things, I just want to pick them up and hold them. I need 50 of them. Like, they're so cute. I opened Discord the day that, which by the way, I will be halting my usage of, due to the ID stuff. But, I opened up Discord and just about 30 notifications about the baby Strider. Genuinely, like 30 notifications about the baby Strider. That thing is so fucking cute. It's just a little guy. Ugh. I'm gonna have to have a dangerous corner in every Minecraft house now that's got a little lava pit for my little guy. Because I need him in there. He's my comfort little guy. I'm gonna have to figure out a name for him. Oh, anyway. Actually, speaking of Minecraft, this is very funny. Speaking of Minecraft, I have discovered not just well, I've played Cobblemon before, which is Pokemon in Minecraft. I've played Cobblemon before, but I played it way, like when it first became a thing and it wasn't very good. So then I waited a very long time and I saw, you know, I got recommended like a YouTube video of a VOD of someone playing it. And I was like, oh, yeah, I should look at that actually. I should look at that again. So I did. Excellent, no notes. But here's the thing. There's actually a different thing that's not Cobblemon that has more Pokemon, has legendaries in it, has shinies in it, called Cobbleverse. Okay? But you all know about Cobbleverse. And then I proceeded to play over 10 hours of it in a day. So the Pokemon Hyperfixation came back real strong with that, with Cobbleverse. And actually, I'll talk more to that in a second, but Cobbleverse is so fun because you have to learn how to make maps to find each gym, and then you go to the Pokemon gym, and then you eventually you go to the Pokemon League, which the first one is in the end, which is crazy work, and it's so fucking difficult. By the way, difficult as hell. Honestly, I should just see if I can get my Pokemon Sword and Shield final championship team. I should see if I can just find all of those Pokemon and use those Pokemon, because I think that would work. But I've been having so much fun with it. I need to like calm down in that game and like just make a house. Shout out to Waystones, by the way. Oh my gosh, such a good Minecraft mod. So much easier. I don't want to travel 6,000 blocks to go back to that thing. I want to be there now. I had to go millions of blocks. Anyway. But, God, it's so funny. I've been really obsessed with Cobblemon this past week. This week has been lighter on theater rehearsals, so I've had a lot more time to do stuff like that. And then in the train of thought of rehashing my major hyperfixation on Pokemon, I also found a ROM hack for Pokemon Heart Gold, called Rainbow Gold, Pokemon Rainbow Gold. So far, everything has been pretty much the same because I haven't yet played on a Wednesday or a Thursday, and I've encountered one thing that's very clearly different, and then I've also encountered I've already encountered a shiny Pokemon, which means the odds are definitely way up because it was a Metapod, and it was the first one I saw. But I'm having a lot of fun with the ROM hack. Hey, jump scare. I went to, Mr. Pokemon's house. Yes, that's his name. Mr. Pokemon's house. After getting my first Pokemon. And hey, who's outside of his house? Cynthia? from Sinnoh. Yeah. So I'm having a lot of fun with the Pokemon ROM hack. Today's Wednesday, and I'm literally gonna play after this because apparently the person who made the ROM hack has made it so that if you play the radio out loud Wednesday or Thursday, it'll let Pokemon from other regions spawn. Dog? I'm so excited, especially since Heart Gold is one where you go through all of Johto, and then in the post game you get to go back to Kanto and do all of that. So it's a very big game, but I'm very excited about it. I've got, what are the names of my Pokemon? Hold on, let me pause and get them. Okay, I've got my Pokemon team in front of me here. I've got a Chikorita named Chica, but spelled Chikka. I've got a Charizard named Oasis because I didn't realize that Wonderwall would have fit. Chester, the shiny Metapod, of which I named him because he looks like a Cheeto Puff. A Mareep named Sweetheart, and a Murkrow named Warden. And then I have an egg in my inventory. So those are my Pokemon so far. I've already beaten the first gym, Faulkner, which is flying type gym. Shout out to Sweetheart. Because she has Thundershock. Anyways, that's where I'm at with that. I'm very excited about that game. Also, I opened Pokemon Emerald yesterday for the first time since I want to say last year. And God, I love Pokemon Emerald, but I also really love Heart Gold. Oh my goodness. Okay. I wanted to touch on two things. One is as quick as I can make it. The other day, my housemate asked me what my Tumblr Sexy Man contest predictions were for the next year, because nominations are open right now, and I think they're starting the bracket, actually. They're starting the bracket now. Usually it's done by like May, I think. April or May. As you can imagine, Hugh Morris, yes, from the Nintendo Direct about Tomodachi Life, living the dream, is in the running, because of course he is. Of course he is. So my housemate, jokingly, was like, what are your predictions for the contest? And I didn't predict a winner, but I did give a prediction for my top two that I think genuinely have a chance this year of being Tumblr Sexy Man. And I do think technically one of them could have won last year, but I'll be so honest, I don't remember who won last year. I know Sans won again in 2024. Maybe it was Gronkle Stan? I don't remember. But anyway. I'm normal, I promise. My prediction for the top two, the finalists, if you will, are Mr. Antenna from Deltarune and Hugh Morris. Those are my guesses. Those are my guesses. I'm putting it now. I do think at least one of them will make it very far. And I do think Hugh Morris in particular will make it very far. But Tumblr's strong. Tumblr's very strong about opinions. So, but those are my guesses for this year. With that, I've got one more thing on my list here. I want to talk about Brittany Broski, if you will. Put this fucking atrocious, and I can't do it justice because it was a GIF, but made this atrocious post that said more Whimsy 2026. And I was like, well, yes, actually. Because what do you mean you're not excited about things for fun? Why are you being so serious? With everything that's going on right now, you can't afford yourself a little bit of silly from time to time to make sure that you don't dwell in despair. That's the tweet, actually. I was going to say more. I think that's it. So I also agree. Hashtag more Whimsy 2026. We're gonna move on to the pyramid. Flipping over the page got me. We're going to do the pyramid, and we are gonna as rapid fire as I can with these because I'm trying not to hold you guys for too long because I know that my video duration kind of wibbles a little, wibble wobbles, wibbly wobbly timey wimey, you know? So here we go. Are you ready? First up on the pyramid is the Minecraft Baby Strider, because give me 50 of them right now. What is that? Give me 50 of them right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's so unbelievably cute. I'm almost having cuteness aggression with it. It's so little. And you bet your ass I'm gonna be learning how to farm golden dandelions immediately. Yeah. So that's why the Minecraft Baby Strider is on the pyramid, because it's my favorite baby mob. Yeah, I'll say it. My favorite baby mob that they put out, period. Hard stop. Next up on the pyramid, I don't know why, but I was thinking a lot about Waterboy this week. So Herman's on the pyramid. Absolutely pathetic dude. Like, he just, you know what I mean? Also terrible, like, Valentine's post that came out from Ad Hoc Studio about that. It was so funny, but it was so just like, oh. It was great though. Waterboy's on the pyramid because I don't know, I fixated a little. Next up on the pyramid, I don't think was on the pyramid last week for reasons, but it is on the pyramid this week. If I'm wrong, you can go over to the posts section of my channel to see, because I will have posted last week's pyramid already. But next up on the pyramid is, as she is being referred to as, L. It is just the big fish from the big eel from Iron Lung, which we do have full render of now. My favorite part is that the very end of the eel is like two legs stacked on top of each other like that. Big fan of that. Big fan of that. Also, I stand by my statement last week of that is what you call a hear me out. Thank you very much. That is a genuine hear me out. And I know what you're thinking right now. Right, that's disgusting. Why would you do that? Okay, so it is a hear me out, because I have to explain to you why it's a hear me out. It's not generic white man number 5. It's this gross blood fish thing. So that's why L is on the pyramid, because it's mostly because of the full body render of her. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. Love me a little bit of cosmic horror. And I wanted to include her on the pyramid. Next up on the pyramid is another character that I out of nowhere hyperfixated on again this week. And I think it's because I opened Twitter, as I do. I've been opening it more often because I have friends that I did the Minecraft event with that post more often there. So I try to open it a little more to see their posts. And I keep getting these Final Fantasy 15 posts. So next up on the pyramid's Prompto, because I also saw his early design. What is that hair? He looks way too like Kingdom Hearts in his original design that they were going to use for the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy thing. So instead he got moved to Final Fantasy 15 and now he looks a little bit like a chocobo, but Prompto's on the pyramid because he's a silly, goofy little guy. And I was fixating. Next up on the pyramid is Poison Ivy, and I am referring to absolute Poison Ivy. Hopefully I found a picture that is subtle about it and not overtly gross like the other images in the spoiler section. That's all I'll be saying there. But absolutely, I'm her design, absolutely. Literally one of my favorite designs from the absolute DC universe in general. It's also so colorful, which is nice. But that's why Dr. Pamela Lillian Isley is on the pyramid. Thank you. Last up on the pyramid, our number one spot, top of the pyramid, is someone I meant to bring up on the pyramid last week because she's very important to me. And okay. Next up on the pyramid is from JJK, from Jujutsu Kaisen, Kirara. I have read more of the manga than I have seen of the show. So I was waiting for everyone to get to her. And then, you know, of course we had some people who are like, that's a guy. Bitch, no, she ain't. Listen, I'm sorry that y'all don't have an accurate perception of trans people. That's the prettiest woman I've ever seen in my life. Are you kidding me? That's not true. Keys from Date Everything is the prettiest woman I've ever seen. But Kirara is one of my favorite JJK characters. And getting to finally see her on screen. And granted, I haven't seen the actual episode. I literally just looked up clips of her because that's what I wanted to see. But I'm so glad that she's finally here. But you know, people on the internet are being gross about it. And by gross, I mean anything from actually gross to just vile. But Kirara's on the top of the pyramid because as a character in an anime, she is extremely important, especially right now, to see that kind of representation on screen when so many people are shying away from it. It is very important to see that. So that is why Kirara is on the pyramid. That wraps up our shtees, y'all. Hopefully I still talked longer than I thought I would, but you know, I hope y'all had a good time. I know I did. Genuinely, I hope y'all have a good weekend and, you know, good rest of your week. Another apologies for last week's episode being a little bit late. And I know y'all are probably sick and tired of me saying sorry about it, but genuinely, I am. You know, at the end of every video, I usually say, I'll see you here next week, same time, same place. And last week I couldn't deliver on that promise that I say every single week. So I did want to apologize for it, because even if it's not, if you don't find it important enough to apologize, it's important to me to apologize because I am saying I will do something and then something happened and I can't do it. So thank you all for bearing with me last week on that. And of course, with that, that's all I have for y'all this week. Hopefully I'll have an actual notebook next week because oh my gosh. Y'all, the fixation on Herman was so bad that my makeup looks like this. You know what I mean? So also don't look at my eyeliner too closely. The part on the eyelids is definitely even. The part on the wings, I had to do it twice. I'll see y'all next week, same time, same place. Thank you for bearing with me last week with the delay. And you know, we're almost in March, which is crazy work. I don't know if you know this. Streamer almost 25. Yeah, that's crazy. Also, when I said that I was going to be streaming a bunch after District Civilization SMP, hey, I didn't know I was going to get the lead role in a play. So in like March or April, in April, when I turn 25. Yeah. When I turn 25, you'll see me on Twitch. I'm hoping. I'll figure it out. I need to make sure that I can optimize date everything so I can play it on stream because I really want to do that. But it was struggling last time I played it. So I'll figure that out. Anyways, like always, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, all that. It's free. Comments really help small channels. So if you feel so inclined, it doesn't even have to be about what I talked about in the video. It can just be like a question or whatever, literally anything. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next week. Same time, same place. Have a good weekend and a good rest and a good week next week till I see you next Friday. Have a good one, y'all. I'll see you then.